What's the dealio, y'all? You already know what time it is, man. You know I got a straight banger for you, all right? So in this video, what I want to talk about is the stock market is a marathon, right? Today's Monday, right? And so I'm going to show you guys, well, I'm just going to tell you kind of like how the Monday went, right? I'm going to tell you how the Monday went so that you can understand what I mean when I say the stock market is a marathon, right? But first, before we do that, what I want to do is I want to go over all three of the stocks that I put on the watch list from yesterday. They already made a move, okay? And then they rejected off those levels. So before we get into this topic, I want to share this because I want you guys to understand that the watch list, the levels on a watch list, you could go hit that same trade 2-3 times during the week, right? So let's go over it real quick because I want you guys to understand how powerful this stuff is, right? So the first one, I'm on Celsius right now, so let's look at it. So real quick, we got Celsius right here. Okay, I said above 53.81, so Celsius came above right here, rejected, and then it came back. All right, it's looking like a double top right here, but at the end of the day, it came back right here. So if you saw it reject off of that level right there, you could have gotten a put and then rode it to the downside, right? If you see it starting to come back up, you could be like, oh, okay, this is that level, right, that Isaiah talked about. I could ride it from here to here and make a nice, a nice dollar amount. So that's the first one, right? Celsius, they hit the I don't want to say they hit it, but they hit the level and it triggered. That's what I'll say, okay? The next stock is Oscar. All right. I said calls above 1555. Look what happened. Today got above it and then it blasted off, went all the way to 1604. On a small stock like this is easily a 30 to 50% trade right here, okay? This is 1555, right? We was above that. We held that. It blasted off. All right. That was Oscar Health. Okay. And then the other stock was FedEx. Let's look at FedEx real quick. Okay. Where are we at? FedEx. All right. Look what it did. I said calls above 229.98, right? I said 230 to be on the safe side. It came above it. It went all the way up to 231.26, and then boom, it rejected, and now look at it. Came all the way down right here. All right. So, so this week, I want you guys to know that those levels are still in play, right? If we get above those levels and hold, then we're gonna be good. But like I said today might be interesting because we have data tomorrow, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that even if the stock rejects off of a level, it could have had a run up and you could have made you some money off of the levels, off of the watch list that I posted. It ain't got to be there for, 5 days. Oftentimes stocks move so much, they're not going to just sit there and wait for you to take profit. It don't happen like that, right? They go to a level. If you see it, then boom. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share real quick, man. These watch list levels, listen, I'll be spot on, right? I'll be spot on. So when you see the stock break certain levels, man, take that trade and set your target, get your money and get up out of there. All right. So now I want to say the stock market is a marathon, right? So Mondays, I like to look at Mondays as like we back in the office, so to speak, from the perspective of the stock market, right? The stock market. Mondays is a very important day in the stock market. Let me tell you why. Because it's a new week and we have new levels getting established for this week. Okay, so you're going to have Monday lows and you're going to have Monday highs, right? So don't be in a rush to go make $1 bajillion on Monday, because you got to understand that Monday is setting you up for the rest of the week. If there's some traders that don't even trade on Mondays, They like, I'm gonna let everybody handle that. Once I get these levels down based off of Monday, then I'm going to trade on Tuesday and Thursday and Wednesday, whatever, right? So Mondays help you understand what the levels are for the stock that you're trading. Okay. So for me today, I took 3 trades, right? My first trade was like 1% profit, like nothing, right? The second trade was almost negative, but I got out at like 1.5% profit. And I'm like, damn, right? But it was the same stock, it was MU, and then I saw it coming down, so I got into a put, and then the put, I made like 8%, right? Nothing to write home about. I'm still green on the day, right? It's still a positive day, but it wasn't a crazy amount of money, right? It wasn't a crazy amount of money. My portfolio was up like 1%, right? But we are still going in the right direction. And I want you to understand that it's all relative to your actual account balance, right? Your account balance. As long as you're green, you're good. As long as you green, you good. I might start saying that. As long as you green, you good, okay? Because listen, I would rather have my portfolio up 1% rather than it only being up, being down 2%, right? So it's like, this is what I mean when I say things are a marathon, right? Mondays, don't rush it. I didn't rush it. I know that we have data tomorrow. I know that we have CPI tomorrow. So most likely, things are going to be trending in a direction a little bit better after today, right? Let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this. What are the odds that no major companies are reporting earnings this week when we have CPI? So a lot of stocks that had earnings the past couple weeks that were in the S&P 500 or the Mag 7, right? They beat earnings, they gapped up. They did not have a CPI in the middle of the week of their earnings. This week we have CPI, right? So there's not no Mag 7 company that's going to be affected by CPI. It's going to bring it down. Just think about these things, y'all. All right. These are the games that Wall Street plays. So Mondays, I like to let Monday highs and Monday lows get situated and settled. That way on Tuesday, you have a reference point, right? I'm not saying you can't trade, but like, you don't have to try to go super hard on Monday. You don't. That's like you being a football coach and you are like, all right, we got the ball and we on the 30-yard line. Let's throw a Hail Mary the first play of the first quarter of the game. No, it's not how it works, right? The first quarter is always about filling the things out, right? Seeing what's going on. But I want you guys to understand that this is a marathon, because you're going to have the days where you grow your portfolio by 10%, by 30%. You're going to have some days where your portfolio is up 50%. But on the days that things are slow, don't force it. Today was a low volume day. Yes, stocks made moves the first 15, 30 minutes. If you did not catch that, they just kind of went slow. Even if they were going in a direction, there was not a lot of volume behind it. And because there wasn't a lot of volume behind it, I don't like trading those stocks, right? I do not like trading those stocks. So look, y'all, I just want to let you know that this is a marathon. Do not try to force trades to make money. Do not try to force your way into making $10,000 today, right? You got to honor the actual process, and you got to not need the money. I can't stress that enough. You have to not need the money, y'all. Remember that I said that, all right? Because when you don't need the money, you allow yourself to have time for these plays to pan out, right? So today was a low volume day, but I promise you this is going to be a big week. All right, it's going to be a big week. So be sure to make sure you do your studying, get everything situated, right? If you made money today, let me know in the comments below. Let me know who you made money with, what stock it was. All right, but tomorrow we got CPI. We're going to get a gap up, we're going to get a gap down, and we're going to get a direction. We're going to see what happens, all right? But I want you guys to understand that this is a marathon, right? Every day is not going to be a 200% trade day. Every day you're not going to grow your portfolio by 15%, by 20%. But what you will do is, if you focus on compounding your account, you will get where you want to get to over time. I always say, get rich over time, not overnight. Get rich over time, not overnight. Remember that. All right, remember that. So listen, y'all. I hope that helps you guys out, right? We're going to make money every single day in the stock market. Some days you may make $20. Some days you may make $300. Some days you may make $2,000, right? It's all relative to your account size, but at the end of the day, as long as you green, you good. All right. So hope that helped y'all. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. All right. Like I always say, make sure you get up out of your head. Go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right. I'm going to catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Peace. Stay smooth.